to episode 46 of the Gilded City. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. 46 whole episodes.
That's hard to do.
Yeah. If you are enjoying the adventure, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. And, if you want to listen to the podcast, we also have the podcast version available. And we have Kira back this week. So, yay, Octavia's here.
Yay.
All right. With that, we'll go ahead and jump into tonight's episode. Last time. Oh my god, nobody said it at the same time as me!
Same words!
I was so hopeful.
That's an old gag now.
Last time, the party questioned Evenwood and learned valuable information about Faerun and his relationship with the Blackstaff. Following a debate about what they should do, the party eventually turned Evenwood over to Freedom's custody. Freedom indicated to the party that they should be careful until they figure out how they want to approach the Faerun situation. It seems like their best bet is to take down the Blackstaff first. But until her leads come back with a way to do that, she wants the party to lay low, as it were. As the party entered some free time, Bowman engaged in some personal business, helping the people of the Little Cormier district of the city. And at sort of the height of this process, Bowman was brought in to swear a new paladin oath and is an oath breaker no more.
Yay.
So that is where we left off last time. And with that, we are going to move into a bit of a period of downtime. First thing, though, before we get to people's various downtime activities, Artemis.
Oh boy.
It's the night after you all handed Evenwood over to Freedom. Takes you a while to fall asleep that evening, but you eventually find your way to sleep. You drift off into your dreams. You hear echoes of your conversation with your friends about what you should do with Evenwood and about killing him specifically. Suddenly you find yourself back in the room of Evenwood's tower, alone in front of Evenwood, who is bound. And with seemingly no control, you Eldritch blast him in the head, point blank, killing him. The room swirls around you and is engulfed in blue and silver flames that roar all around you and consume the room. And you hear a voice coming through the crackling of the fire. This is not behavior fitting the air of the sword of Oikos.
Well, I didn't do it.
But you were tempted. Temptations start out small, but they can grow and consume just as a flame does.
Well, he was... I mean, he knows who we are. Like, he doesn't really, but it's only a matter of time. He's a smart person.
Vanity and arrogance to protect your name, was it?
All right. Yeah, a little bit, sure. But also, like your thing, right? Like, we're kind of linked. This is a 1-2 punch we're doing, right? Eventually, I will do the things that you say to do, and if Dagrin gets to me first before that, then it's all over.
Long ago, there was a king, a benevolent king who ruled over his realm with kindness, wisdom, and good grace. He ruled peaceably for most of his life, but as he got older, he began to fear what would become of his name after his death. And he began taking actions, started small at first, that served his own self-importance and his own greed and his own moral sense. He stopped following the goodness, and over time it corrupted him and his whole kingdom. And you mentioned your brother, Dagrin. Dagrin's transgressions started off small. After all, what brother does not pick on their sibling? But Dagrin has fallen far. You were chosen because despite your faults, you are the best vessel. The silver flame is not interested in seeing you corrupt yourself and thus corrupt our vessel.
Right.
You will do what you must. If you must kill to defend yourself, fine. Cold-blooded murder to save your name or the names of your friends? A defeated opponent. Does that sound like the behavior of a good king?
Ooh, king. That's a big word. No. It doesn't.
Good.
You're right.
Mercy and restraint towards your adversaries when it is called for. And when it is not, well, it should hopefully be clear when mercy is not called for.
This isn't easy, this whole thing you're doing, is it?
What do you mean?
It's kind of a rhetorical question. I will think about the last few days. And I don't know. I'm sorry.
Your transgression is
Really odd.
forgiven. No harm came to the Evenwood man, so no harm was done.
Right.
And the time will come one day where you will have the opportunity for vengeance. It will be up to you then what you do with that opportunity.
Wherever you are.
And with that, the silver flames burn away, and you are left in darkness, and do not dream for the rest of the night.
Nah.
With that, we'll officially jump into downtime. Let's start out with Jinarra. So, Jinarra, what are we thinking about some of our downtime options?
So the main thing I want to do is figure out how to run for office, because
Okay.
I mentioned that quite a while ago and I haven't followed up on that. So
Yes.
that is my main priority. My second priority is reaching out to my parents to see if I can see them briefly during this downtime.
Okay.
So probably the first thing I would do is actually contact my mom to just arrange for when we can meet up, because I know they're not going to be able to just stop by
Yeah.
tomorrow. you
Yeah.
know?
You pull out your sending stone for your folks, and you send a message. What do you say?
It's 25 words, right?
25 words.
Mom, it's not even going to be 25 words. Mom, can I see you and Dad soon?
A few moments pass, and you get back a message. Absolutely. Your father and I can make some time in about a 10-day.
Our downtown it's more than a 10-day, right?
You've got
Okay. Great. Can I respond?
no, not
Okay.
unless she sends a follow-up message.
Great.
But we'll
In a
just
10-day, I'll just plan to go to the tower if I don't hear anything, and I'll just hang out there.
Yep.
Great. No worries.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you want to do anything while you're waiting, or do you want to wait until after you've talked to your parents?
No, I'll get started. Because that's not really what I want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to them about that stuff anyways. So, for the seat that I'm taking, it's just me, right? I don't have like a running mate or anything, or
No.
can I? Just me? Okay.
No, it's just you. You're running for basically what's the equivalent of like a New York State Assembly person.
The person who I assume would probably know the most is probably my neighbor Herb. So I'd probably go to his house and talk to him about it first, especially since I know him a little bit more than some of the other people I've been working with lately. So
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works. Okay, you go visit Congressman Herb Davis next door.
Yep.
The butler greets you at the door and says, apologies, Mr. Davis is actually down. He's in the office today. is it you could head over there and see if he has time to meet with you, or I can let him know that you called?
No, I'll go to his office and see if he's available.
Oh, great, excellent. Yeah, with that, you start heading across town to the Castle Ward, which is where all the government buildings are located. So you eventually arrive at the castle. You eventually arrive at Castle Waterdeep. Now, Castle Waterdeep, a long time ago, used to be an actual fortress, an actual defensive fortress of the city. It's not used for that purposes anymore. Ever since the last couple hundred years, it has served as the Hall of Legislature for the city. So you go inside sort of the front gates. You have to go through a security check before you're allowed in. But you're eventually you are asked to hand over your knives before you enter.
Let's just assume I didn't actually bring my weapons with me.
Fair
for once,
enough.
just knowing I was going to this building.
Fair enough.
Unlike me, but yes, I think I would probably know.
Fair enough. You go up to you enter this courtyard area. It's got some bushes and other plants, as well as some statues featuring important figures in Waterdeepian history. You sort of go across the courtyard into the entry hall, where a reception desk has been erected shortly inside. And you go up to the individual working at the reception desk, who appears to be an ASMR woman, who greets you. Hello, welcome to Castle Waterdeep. How can I help you?
I was wondering if Herb Davis was available.
Let me check the congressman's schedule. Did you have an appointment with him?
I don't, but I am his neighbor, so he knows who I am. So if he's available, that would be wonderful.
I will see. And she pulls out this big ledger. She flips through, eventually finds Congressman Davis's entry. All right. It appears that he does not have any particular scheduling conflicts at this time, though it is possible that he is engaged in going over some legislative items. However, I will send a quick message up to his office to see if he is available to meet with you.
Thank you.
And with that, she opens a drawer, and you see inside the drawer, she has to unlock this drawer, but you see inside the drawer, as you peek over the desk, there's rows and rows and rows of sending stones, sorted into compartments, labeled with different Congress people's names. So she picks up one for Congressman Davis. Sends a message, sets it down. Congressman Davis's chief of staff will be along to escort you to the congressman's office shortly.
Thank you very much.
She motions you over to some seating nearby. You go sit down as you sort of look around in this, old castle entry hall. It looks very grand, very well maintained. The floor is polished. There's sort of the grand staircase going up. Beyond, you see a chandelier that looks more recent, but fits in with the style of the place. The electric lights in here also clearly not of the period that the castle was built, but are done in a style that makes them fit somewhat. And there are paintings and tapestries all along the walls depicting Waterdeep or important people of Waterdeep or important events of Waterdeep. You see that there's a very very tattered like recreation of a tapestry that shows the creation of the city, kind of directly behind the reception desk. Few minutes pass. Eventually, a human man looks to be probably in his mid-30s, comes down and greets you and says, hello, Miss Darling. You're here for Congressman Davis?
Yes, I am.
Very well. If you'll follow me this way, I am Congressman Davis's chief of staff, Charles Bronson.
Nice to meet you. Charles Bronson?
Charles Bronson.
Charles.
Oh, it's Carl's now.
Real quick, Ben, are there guards around?
Yes.
Okay, making
Yes.
sure.
There is security. I mean, this is a busy place, so there's a lot of people like moving back and forth as well. You do see a handful of security people in the building, dressed in matching uniforms with each other. They are not wearing sort of the police uniforms, nor are they wearing the watchful order uniforms. They're wearing a totally unique uniform that features the colors blue and purple, like as color like markings on the uniforms, and also all the uniforms seem to have the symbol of a gold griffin on sort of a badge pinned to like their left breast. So you are led through the halls of Castle Waterdeep and eventually brought to the office of the local head of the People's Vote Coalition, Congressman Herb Davis. There's sort of a, as you're brought into this office suite, there's kind of two rooms, right? There's the congressman's private office, and then there's sort of a gathering/meeting room. There's sort of a fireplace in the gathering/meeting room. You see that Congressman Davis has set up his little meeting room with a couple of couches and a coffee table in the middle. And then behind this is sort of in the center of the room, and behind the back couches, there's a row of windows, and you see there's sort of a dining room table set up in front of the row of windows with chairs around it as well, but there's nothing on the table at this time. As you come in, you see the congressman is sort of in the center of the room, sort of next to the coffee table, talking with several people who appear to be on his staff. And eventually, he's giving them like directions, and eventually you come in and he's like, Jinarra, good of you to stop in. All right, everybody, if you don't mind, I'll be meeting with Miss Darling in my office, but if you need anything, just feel free to knock. Everybody knows what they're doing in the meantime? Yes, sir. Yep. Great. Jinarra. So you're brought into his office. He closes the door. There's sort of a huge desk. He's got a bunch of like papers and stuff on it. You see a typewriter there as well, pens, ink, all that stuff. Another like row of windows that look out over the bluff. So there's sort of like the point of the mountain that Castle Waterdeep is built on sort of drops off at on a cliff face that looks down over the harbor and also the dock ward. So his office has a really good view off that bluff. He motions you to sit in a chair sort of across his desk from him. Well, I must say I was surprised when I heard you had come to visit me in the office today. What did you need?
I heard Lance Margister's position was open, and I was thinking about running for it.
Well, very, very bold. Let's see. Your sudden interest in running for office, may I ask what has prompted it?
Because I want what you want. I want everyone to have the right to vote, and I want to help change things. And then I would like to be able to pass this position on to someone who currently wouldn't even be able to run for office right now, probably. I want to be the start of something different.
I see. Well, unfortunately, there's no way to get you in Congress before a vote comes on the Citizens Vote bill.
Okay.
That vote will be happening on the 6th of Summertide. And the special election for Lance Margister's replacement will be on the 7th of Summertide, a month from now.
Ah.
Now, I won't say that it is too late for you to throw your hat in the ring, but there are certain... How much do you understand about the way our political system specifically works?
Probably not as much as I should, if I'm going to be honest.
Right. So, as you hopefully know, I have taken over leadership of the People's Vote Coalition. The thing is, the way coalition governments work is that each coalition is made up of multiple parties.
Mm-hmm.
And these multiple parties have agreed to work together to form a coalition government, as it were. So there's the only thing that unites the People's Vote Coalition right now is the matter of opening up the vote to the citizenry. Depending on what you see your policy stance being, there are different parties that you may want to be associated with within the People's Vote Coalition. There's also the possibility of running as an independent and caucusing with the coalition. But I don't think it is advisable for you to run as an independent. And the reason why is that this is your first time running for any elected office. You need the backing of a professional political apparatus to get you elected, if that is what you desire.
Okay.
There are 3 parties that currently make up the People's Vote Coalition. There's my party, the Lord's Party. This is the party mostly made up of people with inherited nobility, and most people in this party's main reason for wanting to be part of the People's Vote Coalition is that most of my compatriots in the Lord's Party believe that the best way to regain some of the power that we lost is to circumvent the issue of government control being in the hands of only the wealthy. Basically, we don't like that these corporations have sort of stepped into our territory, so by supporting the right of more people to vote, we think we get more power. That's how most of my compatriots feel. I am a little more willing to... I'm more interested in the well-being of the common person than most of the compatriots in the Lord's Party.
Okay.
And I am the leader of the Waterdavian branch of the Lord's Party, as of now, anyway. Then there's the Labor Party. The Labor Party is smaller, but it is much more interested in reforming the labor systems of this nation. Or in this case, the state of Waterdeep. The current leader of the Labor Party is an elven woman named Chaedi Farahel.
How do you spell that, Ben?
Chaedi. That's her first name. And then her last name is Firahel. Firahel.
I'm never
Oops.
going to pronounce that correctly. All right.
That's
I'm calling dibs. That's my kid's first name.
Chaedi Farahel.
yes. That's,
Okay.
she's the head of the Labor Party. The Labor Party is the party that the Open Lord hails from. Lastly is the Exchange Party. This is a party of people who think of their main interest is the interest of the small business owner, as it were. They do not believe that the current government supports them. They believe the current government supports large corporations. So they are interested in shifting the balance of power more towards policies that favor those that are better off, but still not the wealthiest. So,
Okay.
and the Exchange Party is led by Mr. Hans Schultz.
Okay.
Now, after you decide which party you want to seek the nomination for, you will have to convince the leader of that party to support you. Then there is the process of actually submitting your qualifications. You have to make sure that you fit all the criteria that are necessary. You'll need to build a team of people who can help get you elected.
I have some people in mind.
I'm sure you do, and I do want you to know that it is very good to have people who are passionate about the issues by your side, but it would also be advisable for you to find some people with experience. Otherwise, the likelihood that you will be elected is extremely low. Now, your name recognition will be helpful, your family's name recognition. So I would recommend leveraging that in any campaign, though I am no marketing specialist. I would recommend you get a campaign advisor who is going to be able to help you with that. You'll need fundraising, you'll need to meet with donors, you'll need to participate in debates. This is not for the faint of heart. And I am not suggesting that you saying that you don't want to do this would mean that you are of the faint of heart, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and also be prepared for the press to dig for any skeletons in your closet. Any campaign team that you put together needs to know about what skeletons might potentially be in your closet so they can figure out how to protect you.
Okay.
So, if all this has not dissuaded you, I do think you would be a good voice in Congress. It's just, it's not going to be an easy road.
Do you recommend anyone who has experience that is not currently on someone else's team?
I can put together a list and have it sent to your home.
That would be great.
Well, I hope to see you in the halls of Castle Waterdeep.
Thank you very much.
He stands up and shakes your hand, and he also says, and feel free to come by my home anytime for advice if you need it.
Thank you very much.
But as you are now officially running, I cannot accommodate you for advice sessions here, unless you are coming for an official meeting about joining the party.
I understand.
Good luck.
Can Jinarra join his party? Even?
I could, but I would rather go with the Labor Party. I think.
Sure.
Is this where the Open Lord has her office? In this building?
It is not, but the Open Lord is relatively nearby if you want to go visit the Open Lord.
I do.
Okay, so you go over to the Palace of Waterdeep, formerly known as, well, I can't pronounce what its old name. I'm just going to call it Palace of Waterdeep. You go to the Palace of Waterdeep, which is a beautiful, elegant palace that has stood for many, many centuries and is the residence of the Open Lord of Waterdeep, and also holds the offices of the executive branch of the, yeah, that's it, Matt. You got it perfectly right in chat. Anyway, Pure Giron, sure, that's what we'll go with, Matt.
No, I'm just messing with you. I have no idea.
Well, that's what we're going with anyway. Palace of Waterdeep. Anyway.
So many things in chat.
I
I'm gonna have
know,
to
it's
read that
flying
after.
by. Anyway, you go to the Palace of Waterdeep. It's the offices of the executive branch of the state government as well.
Okay.
As you arrive, there's a wall around the exterior of the grounds of the palace, and as you approach, you see two guards wearing very elaborate uniforms in blue and purple with the golden griffin on them. They have, guns at their side, you can see as you approach, but they are also carrying halberds, huge halberds, which, nobody actively carries anymore, but these guys do, and they sort of cross their halberds as you approach the front gate of the palace. Hold. Who are you and what business do you have at the Palace of Waterdeep?
My name is Jinarra Darling, and I wish to speak to the Open Lord. I'm an old friend.
Do you have an appointment?
I do not.
The Open Lord is a busy woman.
I know.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I'm using luck. Oh, better, 19.
We will inform them of your arrival. If the Open Lord will see you, we will let you in. Until then, you will wait here.
Okay.
You don't see either of them move, but hopefully
I'm
somehow
assuming sending stones or something was happening.
yeah. You wait a while. 10 minutes pass, 15, 20. You're getting pretty close to waiting there for like half an hour before finally approaching the gate from the inside is someone you have seen before with the Open Lord, Karina Morgan, her the Open Lord's head of security, and she's wearing sort of her cowboy hat, long leather duster as she comes down. As she approaches the gate, the guards open it, and she says, well, Miss Darling, lucky that the Open Lord does have a little bit of time to meet you right this way. We will have to
Thank
keep
you.
it brief. And she sort of leads you up this like drive inside the palace grounds, and you see, beautifully well-maintained lawns, flower beds, all that stuff as you approach this like grand palace building. Open Lord's a busy woman running Waterdeep and also running for the presidency, but she said she'd make some time for you, so. But we don't have very long. Can spare you. Open Lord can spare you a few minutes, but
That's all the time I
she's
need.
got another meeting to go to, so.
No problem.
You are led inside the palace, which is lavishly decorated, very well maintained, and eventually led through the grand halls of this palace to a meeting room. You see a long sort of ovular table in there. The Open Lord is kind of down at one end of the table. She's got like a stack of papers in front of her. Next to her on one side is Amos. As a reminder, the Open Lord, is an elegant elven woman. She's got long silver hair, and she's wearing sort of blue and silver as well. And then Amos is there, who we've met a few times. Dark-skinned human man, long dark hair, beads in his hair, and he's wearing wizard robes that are a sort of royal blue as well. They both look up at your entry. As Karina comes in, she says, all right, Miss Darling, here to see you. Lashana says, thank you, Karina. Could you secure the room? On it. She goes around, closes all the doors, locks them. Miss Darling, have a seat. Amos says, to what do we owe the pleasure, Jinarra?
I was actually hoping you would be here as well. I'm thinking about running for Lance Margister's open position. And I was hoping that you would both support me.
The Open Lord considers this. to be honest, this is not quite what I expected your visit to the Palace of Waterdeep to be about.
I know.
Perhaps the locking the doors was maybe a bit overkill for this visit then. What party were you thinking of running?
Yours, Labor Party.
Ah, I see. Well, I would very much like to say yes. That said, I am slightly concerned about, how shall I say this?
My extracurricular activities.
Yes, let's put it that way.
I'm aware.
Now, there is obviously no guarantee that your extracurricular activities, as you would say, become public, and gods know that I don't know nearly the half of what you've been going through. But I do know that I do know what Amos has told me. I will be honest with you, Jinarra. I am concerned about your ability to both serve as a member of Congress and serve the other useful role that you have been serving recently.
I understand your concern. However, I would sort of like to think of me filling this position as a stepping stone for others who currently cannot even vote to potentially be able to run for this position. But in the meantime, I would like to make some changes, and I would like to be the start of that change.
Amos speaks up and says, Lashana, well, since this is a special election, she would only be filling the seat technically for a few months until the main election in the fall. That said, it could put her in a good position to run fully in the fall if she so desires. Perhaps if we support her in taking this special election seat for the next few months, she proves to be a worthy candidate, perhaps we can wrap up any of her extracurriculars, as it were, before the general election in the fall. I think she'd be a good ally in Congress.
I also think you need someone who isn't afraid of the black staff to be running right now.
Ashana nods. You both make good points. Karina, do you have any thoughts? Well, she certainly got a bit of fire in her. And I like that. I think she could be. I don't know. I'd vote for her. Well, Jinarra, give me a pitch. What is your platform? I'd like to hear it, and then I will make my decision.
I want everyone to have the right to vote. I want the magic licenses to go away. I want there to be more food shelters and homeless shelters for those who need it. I want the poor to not be forgotten. And I don't want them to be able to be taken because no one is looking out for them. That's kind of it. But I feel like that's a big change for what we have right now.
It is. Your platform is admirable. I would advise you to be aware that big changes do not happen quickly through government.
I know.
It is
But it won't happen at all if someone doesn't fight for it.
Yes, it's true. You have my support when you officially announce your candidacy to the papers. Make sure whoever your press person is reaches out to my office.
I will let them know.
All right. Good luck. Great. And with that, you leave the Palace of Waterdeep, unless you had anything else you wanted to talk to the Open Lord about before you leave.
No, I think she knows enough about my extracurricular activities, as I called them for now.
Great. Okay, so you go back home. What are Jinarra's thoughts about who she wants on her campaign team? As you know, obviously I will put together, I'll let you, Herb Davis obviously sends you a list of names and sort of what roles he thinks they could potentially fill on a campaign team. Also in his note, he sort of sends a quick message saying, with the election in a month, you need to announce your candidacy very soon.
The thing is, I want my team to be on my team, but I'm also aware that,
We don't know what we're doing.
No, it's not that. It's that, should we bring more attention to the fact that we're always together? I mean, if there's descriptions of us out there already, I'm just a tiny bit concerned about that. The one person I know I want on my team, though, is Nyx. Because Nyx has been, active in this world way more than Jinarra has. And then, of course, Penny and Octavia are the people that I would have interview me, but
Great.
I don't know if I'm just hesitant to go as far as having you on my press team because, again, there's descriptions of us around and I'm already having Nyx on my team. If there's 6 of us and people are looking for 6 individuals.
I mean, there can always be advisors behind the scenes that.
Yeah, well, of course.
Great.
So yes.
All right. Okay. Do you want to go at least go talk to Nyx or any of your other friends about this?
I'll go talk to
call all
Nyx.
your friends together, or
I'll call them all together.
okay.
That just makes more sense.
Yeah, you get everybody together. at your house. You know, it's been maybe like a day since Evenwood, so it hasn't been very long. But you had a busy day.
Mhm.
I do bring Gamma with me, but like under a big pile of cloaks.
Yeah, as you arrive, it's like
Simon.
it's also like getting into summer now.
Mhm.
Like it's late spring probably now. As you show up, Gamma is buried under cloaks like it's the middle of winter.
Well, he doesn't sweat, right?
No, he doesn't. It
Probably
just
not.
looks odd out on the street.
Well,
We
maybe
should
he's
get-
sickly.
Maybe we should get some linens.
People should mind their own business.
I think the fashion that you two dress me up in is marvelous.
Gamma, that's wonderfully kind, and you don't need to lie to us.
I don't think he's capable of lying.
We're gonna get to that. I have a whole list of questions that I want to ask Gamma.
I look forward to going through the list with you at some point. Anyway, you all gather around the war table. As Jinarra has called you.
So I'm running for office.
Oh,
Today?
The election is in a month, so basically didn't
That's-
actually realize it was in a month. Also, where is it? On the 6th, they're voting for the right to vote, and on the 7th is the election for this position. So we have a month to figure out how we're going to stop the black staff from messing up the vote that day. Probably both days, to be honest. But yes, so that's in a month.
No.
That's a lot of time, though.
Not really for an
Really, a month?
election.
it took us 3 days to figure out a word puzzle.
Can you even do an election in a month? Like, is that legal? Don't you have to have like a certain amount of time? Or
No, apparently I can.
I mean, Lanston died that long ago, so like everybody's
Nice.
kind of in this same boat.
That's a good point. I should have asked who else is running, if anyone.
We'll
I
find
didn't even think to ask that. So I don't even know if I have competition, but I'm sure I probably do. They said I need a campaign manager who knows what they are doing, and I don't know anyone, but they suggested that I tell this person the skeletons I have in my closet, so if it comes to light, people know about it. And I don't really want to tell a random person the stuff that we've been doing. I wonder if I should have invited Freedom. I feel like I'm rambling. This was a lot of information I was just given.
What about like Joyce? Joyce knows a lot and is pretty good at organizing things.
what about Rose Wilmington?
Where is she?
Wasn't
She's
her dad
actually-
in office?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
but we
gone
don't know
at
where
the moment.
she is.
Yeah, we'll invite her back. She must know about politics, right?
I mean this with absolute every ounce of respect to my very good friend, Miss Goldilocks Rose Wilmington. I don't think she was paying much attention to politics.
Yeah.
That's fair.
More like her cats and her tressums.
Is this a good idea for me to even be doing? I also don't 100% know if I want to do this long term. They said the position was temporary, and I was sort of hoping to pass it on to someone else. Maybe Nix, who would probably be a much better leader than I am.
Do you get to choose who your next person is?
I feel like if I'm in the position and I'm stepping down to support someone else, that probably means something.
Sure.
I don't want to run for office. I like yelling at people who are in office, but I've never considered the possibility of ever being able to run for office. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's put a pin in that one. We'll get there.
Well, I mean, if the next person that takes Lance Margister's position is just another Lance Margister, then we're just gonna have to like kill him again. So
That's true.
I mean, might as well.
I guess I may as well do it, and then maybe the other people will be gone or dead. And when the next election comes around, I can just step down and I won't have to worry about someone evil stepping in if I don't feel like continuing to do it.
Sure thing.
I don't
Yeah,
know if we
we'll
can ever
explain
know.
this later.
This
Well,
seems
don't
like a
repeat any
complex
of this.
socio-political system.
Gamma, have we talked
It
about
is
how like
astute observation.
Gamma, have we talked about how like anything any of us ever says you shouldn't repeat? Like if all
That's a
6
good
of us are
point.
together and we're talking about something, you probably shouldn't talk about it.
Duly noted. Should I avoid mentioning these things to Father Peter?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yes,
I
Father
keep-
Peter should also be off limits.
I didn't know Peter was ordained.
Yeah, me neither.
It's recent.
Good for him.
Been working on it for a while.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is that what he does in his
Laura.
retirement? Ministry.
All right. Well,
Jinarra,
regardless, yes.
I think if you're going to go run for office, you need to announce this very publicly and have a very, I think having a piece on you done very quickly in the Times. Penny and I
Yeah.
can write it.
Yeah.
Might be helpful. So if we could do a profile on you, we'll try to get
Yes.
that going. Can probably have it published within a day or two, hopefully.
That would be great.
Yeah,
You should
I
probably-
literally just show up to work and walk around. I don't really know what I'm getting paid to do. So this will be something new.
When
That's how it works when you
Octavia,
get
I haven't
raises.
written an article in 7-10 days.
Mm.
I feel like
I just told your
Yeah,
father
yeah.
we were going to do that one piece and then we just like didn't do it. So I don't know.
Very deep dive. We need the time for it.
That's true. Okay.
when
Okay. Yeah.
when and how are you going to announce this?
Well, you just throw it in the I have the open lord's backing once I announce it.
Okay.
Oh, you need like a
So-
spectacle for that.
Yeah, are you gonna do like a
Do it at Bright Shield Gardens.
press
Oh my God.
conference party thing or like a
I think how
quietly?
if we're able to set up a press conference or some sort of public event the day that the story gets published would be probably a good idea.
Sure.
Or the day after.
Okay.
Do you think Joyce could help us set up something?
Yes. I do.
Perhaps even here at your estate.
Yeah,
might be
that
a good
makes
idea.
sense.
Your parents have very good standing in the community, so
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
and I think we should get some photos of you for the profile.
Okay. I will take some without my weapons.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can take the pictures. Would just need to set you up possibly just in like do you have a study in this house that you could use? That might
Yeah.
be
Or like a
professional.
park bench.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should take some in the community as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Joyce briefly speaks up and says, before you do this, you should probably assemble your staff, your official staff.
I don't know who to have as my official staff, though.
I mean, Octavia seems to be doing a very good
Yeah.
job.
Octavia,
I
kidding.
think
Bowman, are
Octavia,
you okay?
I think that Octavia would be excellent as a press secretary or press liaison for your campaign.
Be your PR representative.
She just is the press.
I would
Well-
suggest you look at Mr. Davis's list and select some people from that list. And you mentioned you wanted Nyx involved. Did you have a role in mind for her?
What? I don't even know what roles I need. to fill.
Representative of the poor people.
So
Exactly with that title.
I am your
Community
token poor
liaison
person.
specialist.
Community liaison. Is that a title that Nyx could fill?
That sounds a whole lot better than token poor person, so I will take that title.
might I suggest we look at Mr. Davis's might I suggest we look at Mr. Davis's list of potential chief of staffs, and they can help, whoever you decide there can help you fill out the rest.
That sounds smart.
We just added like 6 episodes to this series.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, it's
This is
incredible.
turning
Okay.
into the Jinarra episode. I did not mean for that to happen.
That's okay.
Running for office is complicated. You have a lot of decisions to make.
Just one.
I really honestly thought I would just
Just
be like,
wing it.
I'm running, and that would sort of be okay.
You should
That's
assemble
it.
your
No.
staff. I don't know who I want to be on my staff.
I don't know what positions there even are.
We'll just say that Mr. Davis's top recommendation for a chief of staff is a human woman named Khadija Al-Fassi.
How do you spell that, Ben?
I'll send it to you in the chat.
Great.
But you call upon her the next day, we'll say. She works sort of downtown in the castle ward. And you come into her office. She's sort of a junior political advisor at kind of a lobbying firm, basically. But according to the information that you got from Mr. Davis, she is very, very good and has long wanted to break into a more serious role inside of politics, and has been operating at the periphery for quite some time. But he wrote that she was very competent and would be a great chief of staff. So you go meet with her. She welcomes you into her office and she says, "So, what can I do for you?"
I'm interested in running for the position Lance Margister had. And I am looking for a chief of staff. Herb Davis recommended you.
All right, well, I guess I owe him one. I think I can get you elected.
I don't know much about politics, just so you know.
That's
and the
okay.
election is in a month.
Yes, that's okay. I know a lot of Congress people who don't know much about politics.
Right.
We'll need to surround you with a team of policy advisors, policy experts who can guide you in the right direction. We need to make some decisions on the rest of your staff. Do you have any other thoughts?
I want them to actually care about the people.
Okay. easy enough to do. Do you have any? There are oftentimes people who decide they want to run for politics and they want to get their friends involved. Do you have any friends that you're trying to get involved?
My friend Nix.
Okay. We can work with that. Who is she? What does she do? Any political experience of any kind?
More than me. She's been working to what is the group called that just escaped my brain, even though you've said it a million times?
Oh, the EPA, the
EPA.
Environmental
The
Protection
EPA.
Agency.
The Environmental Protection Agency.
Ah, I see. All right. That's a political consideration we can work with. What party were you planning on running for?
The Labor Party, and I already have backing from the Open Lord once I announce my candidacy.
Okay, that's very good. That will be helpful. Your last name, you said you're Darling.
I am.
Any relation to the famous Darlings?
I am.
Okay, that's also helpful. Great.
That's also helpful.
Okay.
Dismissed.
Okay,
I
yes,
love
we can do that. These are my pay rates. She's got slides you a piece of paper. Now, in terms of all of that, we can get funding from the government once we announce your official candidacy, but I would recommend doing we will need to put together some fundraisers as well. We need to hire a lot of really good people to surround you with, seeing as you're going into this with basically no experience. So
I know.
let's get to work.
Right.
And with that, you spend the next 2 days literally almost nonstop working with Khadijah, putting together a staff. Nix, you get brought in. You are told that you are given a position on the team as a policy advisor on voting rights, as well as a community
Have them.
liaison. Huh?
Have them. That is my advising on voting rights.
Well,
A good choice.
Put this girl on a debate stage.
They should exist.
you are also you have a meeting with Chidi Farahel, the head of the Congressional Labor Party. And after a conversation, she agrees that you will have the backing of the Labor Party. You are given access to funds to help run your campaign.
Great.
And all this stuff, and you put out the official announcement, let's see, on the, I believe we'll say the 8th of the month. You finished your stuff in Evenwoods on the 5th of the month. So 3 days
I've been
later,
busy.
you officially announce your candidacy. It's in the papers. It creates a lot of buzz immediately, and the campaign season for Jinarra has officially begun. So Jinarra, your Khadijah, your chief of staff, works with you to put together your staff, the most important members being, of course, herself as chief of staff, Octavia as press secretary, with Penny helping out as something of a liaison, a press liaison, as it were. Nix is a community liaison and a policy advisor on voting rights. You also have a number of other policy advisors, including an elfman named Erdef Liadon, who is a labor expert. Kadana, a dragonborn woman, who is a foreign affairs expert. Norman Miles, who is a human man and economics policy advisor. Denad Kettle Whistle, a halfling man, who is an interstate affairs policy advisor. And Making his triumphant return, Brian is your chief of security. And his last name is Baker. I don't know if I gave him a last name in the past. I didn't write it down anywhere, so his new last name is Baker. Continuity be damned. So election season gets going as the special election starts ramping up. You don't have any competition from within the People's Vote Coalition. You do have two other people running for the seat from the Purity Coalition.
Great.
So, but 10-day passes and you go meet up with your parents. They arrive via teleportation circle at the Wizard Tower of shit. Where is it?
Felix?
Leaf.
Leaf. Thank
Felix.
you.
What?
Leaf.
Felix. That's Leaf's cat's name.
Oh my God.
Oh, so if I didn't run, a Purity Coalition member probably would have taken the spot. Okay.
Or the People's Vote Coalition convinced the other parties not to run anyone once you declared you were running, one way or the other.
Okay.
But you arrive at Leaf's Wizard Tower and go in as the teleportation circle activates, and your parents, Sebastian and Alessandra, arrive. Your parents give you a hug, and as they step back from you, your dad says, "So you're running for office, I hear."
I am.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, can't say we necessarily saw that coming, but
Neither did I. Would you mind publicly backing me by any chance?
Imagine they say no.
your parents laugh and your mother says, "Of course we will publicly back you." When's election day?
Election day is the 7th of Summertide.
Okay.
So less than a month away.
We'll come back to town to vote.
Thank you.
Leaf, do you think that can be arranged?
I am sure I could. We'll see to that.
And
Any chance you could come the day prior?
why?
The people's the vote for the
Citizens
people
Vote
can
Act.
Citizens Vote Act, thank you, brain, is the day prior, and we're concerned that the black staff might mess with the election.
Well, I'm sure that Congress has good security, but it wouldn't hurt to bring the party by and just do a little press event. Just sort of happens to be nearby Castle Waterdeep, so if something goes down, the last adventurers can respond.
That would be great.
Is that all you wanted to talk to us about, or?
No, I've told you a bit about what me and my friends are up to. And it seems like the next group we're going to be taking on is the Watchful Order and the Black Staff. And I'll be honest, I wasn't really concerned about taking on the others because, I don't know, they just didn't make me concerned, but this one feels different. We don't really know what's going on. We've been trying to get information on what they are up to. We were able to bring a couple people to a local wizard and figure out what's going on. But we don't have as much information as I would like. And I don't want my friends to get hurt.
We understand. It's a dangerous life doing what we all do.
I know, but they're not. Don't get me wrong, they've been great. I don't want them to die an adventurer's death. And I don't know how to take this group on without them, but I kind of want to.
Your father is thoughtful for a few moments and then says, Jinarra, my specialty is kind of in being sneaky. I'm good at hiding in the shadows. I'm good at picking locks. I'm good at stealing treasures. And I'm good at finding the exact right time and place to strike. And people like me have a tendency to develop the feeling that we need to work alone. And for a long time I did. I don't think I've ever told you this, but I was a wanted man in 7 states when I was young. When I first started running with your mother and with the other members of the Last Adventurers, it was hard for me to accept that we were stronger together. But eventually, I learned that. And I wouldn't be here today were it not for the strength of my companions and the strength of you. I know that you want to protect your friends. And I know that you think that going alone is the way to do it, because that's the way I felt for most of my life. But your friends choose to be there for you. They wouldn't be running into danger with you if they didn't feel like they needed to go there with you. I think if you were to try to do something on your own, it would not only end badly for you, but it would hurt your friends. I think it is admirable that you want to protect them, but I think you are stronger together than you are alone.
You're getting better at this being a dad thing, by the way.
I've been doing my best. Yeah, I bought a book about it.
He reads it every night before bed.
Yes.
That's sweet.
Your mom says. And listen, no one said this wasn't risky. And I have half a mind to tell you to stop being an adventurer. But the life your father and I chose, and it would be hypocritical of me to tell you not to do that.
Just a little.
Work with your friends.
Okay.
Your dad also says, by the way, what's your adventuring party called?
We still do not have a name. Do you have a suggestion?
In tandem.
I don't know.
Banjo P.
Banjo
I don't know that I know of anything in particular that your party has done.
Killed a bunch of people.
We're not
They're
necessarily
murderers.
You all have been
The murder hobos.
explicitly trying to be under the radar.
For now, at least.
So I don't know if I have any advice for you, but
Uh-huh.
look to what you and your friends have accomplished. Maybe a name will reveal itself. You don't have to have a name necessarily. Do whatever you and the other members of your party want. It's just it's good for branding and name recognition
True.
and sense of camaraderie.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just wanted to see you two before shit goes down. Just in case.
Your mom gives you another hug and says, "We love you and we're very proud of you."
Love you too.
Your father hugs you as well. Take care, Jinarra.
I will.
And with that, your parents depart with leave to return to whatever far-flung corner of the globe they are in on their adventures.
Mm-hmm. But hey, they might help us on election day.
That's true. All right. And with that, is there anything else Jinarra wants to do during downtime?
Write
Okay.
a book. Start a country.
Yeah, so we'll just say Jinarra spends basically the vast majority of her downtime on her campaign.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very involved process, but
Yep.
she does all that.
Great.
Okay, let's go through the other folks in the party.
So
Who?
sorry.
Oh, don't
Apologize
I
for
hope
your
nobody
sister's
else
brother.
has
Jinarra, it's so
Nice.
funny you say that because Penny's also thinking of running for office.
Bowman, let's hop over to you. We covered most of the big tentpole pieces in your downtime last time, but is there anything else Bowman would like to accomplish during his downtime?
Yeah, I mean, just gonna say some things that probably don't need to be said, but Bowman definitely is gonna give Snack his stuff that he stole from the Wizard Tower, just so
Right.
Snack can start pumping out good enchanted stuff that isn't, oh, a weird catch. Oh, this is a knife. This is a dagger that every time you use it, you can't say the word bread for 24 hours. Stuff like that.
Oh, by the way,
Make that canon, please.
I don't think we remembered to mention this to you, Kira, but Octavia is under an enchantment that means that she can't get drunk for 15 days.
Yes, I did watch that episode
Oh,
today.
okay.
I
Yes.
was trying to catch up.
I forgot about that.
I learned some stuff.
Bowman does want to see what is left with his money that he very generously gave away.
Okay, you blew it all.
Yeah, he wants to actually find a old, probably a fixer-upper fishing boat, just to buy and to actually own something for once.
Okay.
Somewhere to sleep?
Yeah, you start looking around for a boat to buy. Even like fixer-upper boats still cost quite a bit of money. I will say, here's what I'll say. If you wanted to buy a cheap new boat, it's 1,500 to buy one that is large. If you wanted like a dinghy, obviously not that much. Now, if you're looking for something used, a used fixer-upper fishing boat, you could probably get for like, we'll say 350 talents if you want like bare minimum. If you want Bowman to be able to sleep in it, it's going to cost you like 500 talents.
Okay. Can I say like a fishing boat that like could easily sleep, I don't know, 6 people? How much would that be?
Used in not great condition. I mean, this is a large boat regardless. Used in not great condition, we'll say, is going to put you back about 800.
Done.
Okay. Great. Yeah. You of course need to pay dock rental fees in order to rent a spot at the dock. You have to arrange that with the dockmaster's office. You are led into an office of a grumpy dockmaster named Dockmaster Jones, who
They gotta be grumpy.
huh?
They always have to be grumpy.
Of course they do. Dockmaster Jones greets you, talks to you for a little bit, and basically tells you that the month, in order to berth your ship, in order to have a large enough berth for your vessel, it is going to run you, let's say, 50 talents per month.
50. Could we is that negotiable? Mr. Jones.
Why?
You know. I'm a working man. I just
No,
I
what reason are you giving me to negotiate it down?
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
You're gonna have to do me a little better than it's expensive to get me to give you a better rate.
Okay. How about
Provide security.
You'll do odd jobs.
Actually, I was trying to think like, how about
every in the evenings I clean up the docks, you know, the trash and everything, bring it down to about 30 talents a month. I mean, I'm gonna be there anyways, might as well pick it up, right? And that will save you on the what you're paying for whatever your clean fees are right now.
That's true.
Hell, bring it down to 15. I'll even scrub barnacles off of the pier.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
my first roll of the day? Persuasion. I always forget Bowman has great persuasion. That's a 22.
15. Docks better be spotless. The pier that you're on, we'll say.
Sure.
Better be spotless.
Not a barnacle in sight.
All right. You got yourself a deal. What was your name?
Bowman.
Got yourself a deal, Mr. Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
And with that, you have a boat, you have a dock spot, 15 talents a month, and you also have to clean the pier that it's on. But there you go. Anything else for Roman?
Nope.
Okay. Let's go over to Octavia. What is Octavia up to?
Not much. Mostly just learning and I guess managing Jinarra's campaign. It's like political press campaign.
Yeah.
Things like that'll take up some time.
Yeah. You and Penny have a lot of articles that suddenly start coming out. about this campaign. You do have to recuse yourself from being the author on most of these articles as the press secretary. So Penny, most of these articles are published under Penny's name. So Penny starts building up her portfolio, which is obviously very good for her career. And yeah, you continue to do some spell research and continue to learn some various things. And sort of, the idea that the next step in what you all are doing kind of it heavily involves the capture of your mother. You try not to worry too much about it, but I'm going to imagine anyway that Octavia can't help but be a little stressed out about that.
Yes. That's why most of her time during this period will be spent focusing on Jinarra's campaign, helping Penny make sure that her articles are up to snuff, and just generally working so that I don't have to think about other things.
That is very fair. Okay, great. Nix.
Yes.
So you are also busy doing campaign stuff now,
Sure
suddenly. But what else would Nix like to do?
Now that Nix has a
Oh, and remind me to update what your payday is, because now that you are serving on a campaign advisement team, your payday is going to be better.
Nix assumed that she was doing this work pro bono, so
Oh,
Octavia might be.
doesn't know how campaigns work, so she was like, "Oh, cool, yeah, I'm just gonna hand out flyers for my friend. Great."
To be fair, the last time she worked for one of her friends, it was not a good experience.
That's true. Okay. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of back and forth with the EPA, like relaying information and figuring out what they want so that I can tell Jinarra what the people actually want.
Yeah, by
Yes.
the way, when you go tell Brotor Big Toe, the head of the local chapter of the EPA, that you have been selected as a policy advisor on voting rights, he's like, that's incredible, Jinarra. Oh my, but I don't even. That's amazing. Moradin's hammer.
I mean, I'm friends with her, so it was. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that big a.
This is huge. We have an
It's cool
EPA
for
member
the
as a
EPA,
policy advisor
Yeah.
to someone who's running for Congress.
Yeah. Although can I just tell you, I'm a little, it's a little weird that she's also got this labor advisor, but I don't know the last time that this person worked in a hourly wage job.
Well, you have, and just because you're technically a voting rights advisor doesn't mean you can't advise on other issues, right? So if the labor advisor gives advice that you don't think measures up to your lived experience, then you can say something. She's your friend, she'll listen to you.
This is true. But yes, so I've got the ear of a person who could potentially work for the government, maybe, if enough rich people vote
Well,
for her.
we will
But yeah,
we will leverage all of the EPA's apparatus to try and get her elected.
Speaking of which, I was gonna do this a different way, but I just kind of plopped down 1,500 gold. I'll ask questions. This is an anonymous donation. You don't know where this money came from.
Yep. All right. Yep. Oh, we can do so much with this. All right. Thank you, Nix.
Mhm.
I appreciate it. I really do. You're great. You and Ms. Darlin, I hope will be great members of the Congress.
Thanks. But yeah, let me know if and what should be in her policies and stuff. I don't actually know what I'm doing, so
You'll be fine.
okay. If you say so.
You will be. I believe.
Thanks.
And more importantly, I think your friend believes in you, or else she wouldn't have chosen you.
Okay, bye. I would also like to go talk to Herb Davis.
Okay. Yeah, you stop by Herb's house. He at a time that he's actually in. Yeah. And yeah, he eventually meets with you. He says, "Hello there, Miss Leffrey. I believe you're one of Miss Darling's policy advisors, yes?"
Yes, and to go along with that, I was hoping off the record we could discuss the Citizens Vote Act now that Lance Margister is no longer the head sponsor for this legislation. Is all that crap still in it?
Appreciate your candor.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, the elements of the bill that I and several others in the People's Vote Coalition had expressed some misgivings about have been removed from the bill since Congressman Margister's untimely demise. So the bill is clean. Our margins on the vote have become more narrow, but I do still believe that the bill can be passed.
What do you think could get more people to vote for it?
Well, myself and the rest of my team are working very hard on getting more votes for the bill, but it certainly wouldn't hurt if there were more voices from constituents that could move the needle. The problem is, of course, that, you know, many of the people who vote against the bill don't particularly care about their constituents. They mostly care about, you know, the money they're making, but it could help, theoretically.
Okay. We'll work on it.
Yeah, so you wrap up your meeting with Congressman Herb Davis.
since I am potentially politically in a sort of spotlight, I would like to apply for a magic license
Okay.
because I don't need to be connected to a campaign and get caught doing magic and then get in trouble.
Okay. Well, that is 2,000 talents for 2 years.
Okay.
But you go to the city clerk's office and get your magic license.
All that money for a piece of paper. Okay. And then I go and spend the last little bit of the $5,000 that we got, putting $1,500 into a bank account for my potential future, like, niece or nephew or child that is born to my sister and her husband. Nibbling, but yeah, that's it.
Great. Yeah, you make your way down to the bank. Set up a savings account for this potential child. You are informed that they do need a name of an account holder.
Me, for now.
Okay, so you list yourself as the account holder for now. Hey, while you're at the bank, just for the hell of it, make a perception check for me.
23.
You are completing filling out your paperwork. You finish that up. You put in your deposit. You're walking out of the bank. You're in this like huge lobby area. You see there's sort of a balcony of the lobby area. As you're walking out the door, you glance behind you and you see a 7-foot tall, hulking, red, dragonborn man in a very nice suit, just standing there.
Oh. I'm gonna hide. We're gonna tail him.
You're gonna try to follow him. He's like up on a balcony in the bank.
Watching things? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna see if I can figure out a way up there. I don't know. I want to know what he's doing.
Okay. In order to make it not look suspicious, you'll only be able to do it with a perception check rather than an investigation check. But make a perception check for me.
22.
22. You do see that there are 2 gated off staircases to an upper level.
I'm just gonna go like lean up against one and see if it like pushes open.
It does not. It appears to be locked.
I would like to stealthily pick the lock.
Make a stealth check for me first.
That's a natural 20 for a total
of.
Nyx just kills Fear Kindler.
29.
29.
Oh
Okay.
shit!
Okay. You find sort of a spot where so there's a restroom in the lobby and there's like a trash can right outside the restroom, and you go to make like you're going into the restroom, but because you're a gnome, you use the opportunity to just push the door open and then just hide behind the trash can. And then you very carefully make your way around, sticking to like when you see people walk by, sort of blending into the crowd. You duck behind other things as you go, and you make your way back to the gate. You like left the gate. You make your way back to it, and go ahead and make a Thieves tools check for me to unlock it. I believe you took expertise in it on level up, so double your proficiency bonus.
So that's a 22.
22. The lock comes free.
I'm so nervous.
I'm gonna open the gate and close it.
Okay. You very carefully make your way up the staircase. to the second level of the bank. You see this, wide balcony area. You see the red dragonborn man that you noticed earlier is talking to a couple of other people who work at the bank. But other than that, there don't seem to be any people in the area. If you follow along the balcony, railing, you can stay hidden behind it most of the way around. Go ahead and make another stealth check for me.
It's 26.
Okay. You make your way around, following the outside, to like the edge where the man is talking to the clerk. And he's saying to them, like, now, I know I'm still relatively new here, but I hope you feel comfortable reporting to me any issues you have. After all, the bank is successful when we all work together, isn't that right? And he lays a hand on one of the clerk's shoulders. And the clerk says, yes, sir. Very good. Then I assume this matter will be resolved without any more direct involvement. Yes, sir, we will transfer the funds as you requested. Good. Well, if you'll excuse me, I better get going. And he turns away from them towards you, Nyx. And you feel very hidden, but you also feel pretty certain that he knows where you are.
I'm just gonna do I have anything to make me look more casual where I am?
Sweating so much.
So even if I were to hide, I have a feeling even if I were invisible, he would know where I
He
was.
seems to know where you are currently.
Gotcha.
And he is
Coming at me.
coming in your direction.
How far up is the balcony?
It's about 15 feet up from ground floor.
Mm-mm.
And how?
That's 200 Nyxes.
He can fly.
Not in his dragonborn state. I'm gonna stay where I am. I haven't done anything technically. This is what got you in prison.
Just broke in,
We're gonna have to break you out of fucking.
Okay.
Just picked a lock at a bank.
For a staircase.
Does the staircase say staff
Okay,
only?
so I imagine I came up a staircase here, and they're having this conversation somewhere, it's a
Yeah. It's like a
So,
U, and
if
you're
I were
along one of the sides, and they're along the
Is there anything behind me? Could I just go down the stairs again?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
I wouldn't be hiding though, right?
You could attempt to sneak back that way.
But he already knows where I am.
You could try being extra sneaky and see if that helps.
I don't know how to. I feel like I've been as sneaky as I possibly can.
Roll another 29. It's been nice.
It sure has. At least I, put away money for this
Family.
future child of my sisters.
And told no one about it.
Told nobody about it.
What's in your name?
I got
What
rid
you
of
doing?
disguise self. I'm just gonna stay where I am. I'm gonna see if he talks to me. We'll see if I have contact
He
with
says,
him.
hey.
Did you tell any of us you were going to the
No.
bank this day?
Um,
Would I have given my advisor sendings to contact me?
probably not at this time.
I
Um,
probably
Damn.
told my parents. I was like, I'm gonna run some errands.
He comes around the corner and he sees you crouching behind the stairs.
Oh no, once I see him like coming at me, I'm not crouching, I'm just small at this point.
Yeah, for our own memories and mental images, what are the heights of each individual?
Nyx is 3'2".
Okay.
He's a 7 foot tall, hulking dragonborn man in a very nice suit.
All right.
Red dragonborn.
Wow.
As he rounds the corner and stares down at you, first thing I need from you is a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That's a natural 20, so 22.
Hell yeah.
Okay, you feel a wave of fear rush over you, but you tamp it down. Well now, you don't appear to be an authorized individual up on this floor.
T-Rex rules.
T-Rex.
If you don't move, they can
They can't see you.
Excuse me, ma'am. What are you doing up here?
Just start signing. Just. Don't do that. That's probably a bad idea.
No response? Alright, well, I suppose I will have to call the police, and in the meantime, hold you here.
Bathroom?
Oh my god. Is this the blood character
This is
that you did?
Blanky all over again. It's Nyx's last resort card, and when that doesn't work, she goes to jail.
Make a deception check for me.
Oh, I don't know
Oh,
if Nyx is lying.
best of luck.
She's really gotta go to the bathroom right now. What did you say? A deception?
Yep,
19.
alright.
She's about to poop her pants.
You have to roll for this because he does not have a passive insight listed, nor does he have a particular insight skill. So this is just using his flat wisdom modifier. So I guess.
Oh my god, there's a chance.
What did you say you got?
19.
He just rolled a 16 total.
Oh my god.
Woo!
Bathroom, best move. Best move in D&D. It's the best
See,
spell.
You got lost, is that it? Well, be that as it may, I find it strange that you got through a locked gate. Care to explain how that happens?
I unlocked it. I needed a bathroom.
So you willingly admit to unlocking a secure door at a bank.
It wasn't that secure. I figured if it was like secretive, there would have been more to it. It was a gate.
Yeah, insult the dragon. That'll go well.
It's not his gate. Well, I guess it kind of is his gate, but
Next, try spitting in his face. That really sells it.
it'll get to his kneecap.
As the Greek philosopher Diogenes said, in a rich man's house, there's nowhere to spit but his face. Anyway, great advice.
It is good.
I see. So you're attempting to tell me that the security in my bank is flawed?
Well, I did hear about a didn't we already break into this place?
Nope.
No.
No. Well, there's been
Well,
so many like different weird things happening. I don't know. I just feel like a bank would have more security.
I see. Well, despite the fact that this may have been an accident, I'm afraid I am going to have to hold you here and await police arrival for illegally opening a door in my bank.
Oh, this is your bank?
Yes.
I didn't. When?
A few months ago.
Huh. Oh, well, congratulations.
You need gift of gab.
If you'll
This whole
come
time
with
we
me,
thought Penny Presswell would be our
let's
downfall.
not make this any more painful than it has to be, miss.
I mean, I am in quite a bit of pain right now. I need to use the bathroom. So yeah, if we could avoid more pain, that would be excellent.
Persuasion or deception, depending on if Nyx actually needs to go to the bathroom.
She does. It's 12.
Well, unfortunately, you are going to have to hold it just a little bit longer.
You might have to call your custodial staff as well soon. Just letting you know.
That can be arranged.
Ew.
Ow.
Ew.
Nyx just shits in the bank floor. Off the balcony.
Have you any final words to say for yourself before I take you to the secure room where we will be holding you?
Please don't and let me go.
And why on earth would I do that?
Because people make mistakes, and I did not realize that it was not a great place to find a bathroom up here. I don't know, just hear a poor woman out, help a poor woman out.
He smiles wide. Unfortunately, I am not moved by such a sob story.
Oh,
You
I
will
should have started
wait
crying.
for the police. Follow me.
I like literally I'm gonna go with him. I've been to jail before in similar circumstances.
Okay.
I don't think this is jail.
I kind of want to see where it goes.
All right.
Gonna burn me to a crisp? I don't know.
Come back as a barbarian. We need the hit points.
He leads you down a hallway beyond, down 2 or 3 flights of stairs. You are taken to a dark room. The door is closed behind you, and you hear it locked shut. And you are alone in this dark room.
I open my bag and take Lucy out. And I talk to her and just
Okay.
like, so this did not, I don't know what I was. Do you have any ideas? And I like pull her little string.
Do you have any ideas?
I didn't realize you repeated me.
Well, you put a phrase in and
Oh.
she repeats it.
Yeah, that's true. No, I don't know. No. I'm gonna look around the room.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
24.
Okay. It's a pretty bare room. There is a chair in here and the door that you were brought in through. But with a 24, I will say you notice that like there is a very, very small hole in the baseboard of one of the walls. Probably a mouse hole.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
Thought I was sweating before. Oh my god.
Can you come back to me? I'm just gonna sit here
Okay.
for a while, figuring out what's
I'll-
gonna
Where are we
I'll
gonna
give
go
you-
to?
I'll give you a few minutes to
Thanks.
think about what Nyx would like to do. I guess we'll go to Artemis. Artemis and Penny still have downtime stuff they want to go into. Artemis, what did you need to get done during your downtime?
Okay, let me just change gears here. Whew. Artemis has a handful of things he would like to do with his week.
Okay,
First of all, he has a new house guest,
that's true.
Gamma. So I would like to, first of all, do I have a room for Gamma, or am I full?
I will say that Gamma would be the last bedroom.
That's very kind of you, but still not big enough.
There's the master bedroom and then 3 guest bedrooms.
All right,
Where does Danny sleep?
at home. Thank God.
Oh my god, I forget he's a family.
Yeah,
Oh my
me-
God.
I mean, me too, all the time. It's because Artemis is pretty much in denial about that. Slash doesn't care. He's not a good person, guys. Okay. So I'm gonna talk to Gamma. Nice and jaunty. After we come back from Jinarra's.
Okay.
Be like, so thank you for wearing all of that. By the way, all those cloaks. Here, I can take them from you.
Of course. Will there be a time that I can that we can determine when I have to stop hiding my existence?
Hopefully very soon. I think we're working on getting that as soon as possible. I don't want to keep you here like a prisoner. And to be clear, you're free to walk out that door if you don't want to be here, but I really do recommend against it. Not just
That's-
because I don't think it will go well for you, but because I think you and I can be very good friends. I
Right.
think we can have fun.
That stance is appreciated.
Wonderful. Following up on that, just so I know how to know you, I have a couple of very blunt questions that I just want to ask you, if I may.
Certainly.
First of all, Gamma, is that the name you want? Do you want Gamma Evenwood? Just
I
Gamma.
do not know what other name I would use aside from Gamma.
Would you like me to generate a list for you to select from as options?
Negative. I am happy with Gamma. Or happy is perhaps not the right word. Gamma is sufficient.
Fantastic. You and I are just on the same page. Second question, that happiness thing. Emotions. Scale from 1 to 10. Hey, how good was Evenwood? Do you feel those?
Forgive me, your phrasing is slightly confusing. Are you asking if I feel emotions?
Affirmative.
I do not know how to answer that question.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you remember being conscious of having emotions?
Not necessarily
Or do you-
conscious, but I definitely remember being overwhelmed by them.
I have an awareness of myself and my being, and I have an awareness of those who would potentially be harmful to me and those who would potentially be beneficial to me. So, enemies and friends, I suppose you would say. But I do not know if that constitutes a truly emotional response to something. My experiences in life have been limited. I
Right.
would like to believe I am capable of emotions, but I am unsure because I have not been allowed the opportunity to explore those possibilities.
Well, would you like to? I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot toot, I'm kind of incredible at this kind of thing.
That would be most illuminating.
All right. I'm going to ring a little bell. Excuse me, Danny.
Yeah?
Hey, thank you for coming. You've already met Gamma. It's been a couple days. Great. Just
Yeah, it's
reminding myself
weird.
here.
But yeah.
Great. We are gonna help him feel comfortable. He's exploring himself and the world. Would you mind setting up a few? I think I have a few. Do we have like record players in this world?
They'd probably be phonographs.
Like phonographs?
Yeah.
All right. Do you mind setting up just a couple of those for music? And then I'll collect just a handful of books. I'll ask Octavia for some books. And we'll just kind of, if it's all right with you, Gamma, inundate you with culture and how we all express ourselves and emotion and explore it. Wow, I am way too sober for this. The world is not a perfect place. It doesn't make sense a lot of the time, but people act on things that don't make sense sometimes. I really wanted to kill your father, for instance, and that was wrong. For all of his failings.
If you had killed him, I would not have leveled moral judgment against you. It is not my place to do so.
Well, that's very kind, but you would be allowed to. Right.
What
you don't
gives
drink,
another
right?
being the right to level moral judgment against another being?
Artemis has a brief flashback of a time when his father had a very similar lesson for him when he was like 12 or something. It's complicated. And it's kind of on a case-by-case basis. Maybe. I don't know the answer.
Well, it appears there are many nuances to being alive that I have yet to experience. Yes, listening to this music and reading these books may help in my exploring of that nuance. I appreciate it.
Sure. I'll try to think of better things. I have a couple errands to run, but if you need anything, Danny here is the best in the biz, so.
Very well. I will speak to young Daniel here, should I require any assistance.
Sure. And Peter, downstairs, or sometimes upstairs, he's got some wisdom about him.
Very well. Yes, if Father Peter makes himself available today, I will ask him questions.
Absolutely. Right. Toodles.
All right.
I'm gonna grab my hat, coat, and step outside.
Yep, great.
Have a couple small existential crisis, and then I'm curious. The lots next door to mine.
Yep.
I believe 121 and 125 Fabulous Lane are their numbers. Are they for sale?
They are not currently for sale. They do have residents living inside that.
Happy residents?
You're not really spoken to your neighbors much.
For a good reason.
Yeah. All right. So I just picturing the townhouse. It's like smushed between. It's a stereotypical.
Right,
I've
it's
got
like a
this
row
little
house
section.
townhouse.
Yeah. No backyard, really, to speak of.
Got a tiny lot, but yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Still, you have a nice 3-story townhouse. It's not cheap. It's a very nice townhouse, but
Sure. I just have a problem of filling it up really quickly. Okay. Rough ballpark. How much did my house cost?
you don't know Dagger bought it.
Yeah, way too much. Okay. All right, I'm gonna ponder that. I'm gonna swing by Brightshield Gardens very quickly. Just now, this seems very ill-fitting, but I wanted to swing by Brightshield Gardens to ask those in charge if there was a very large red dragonborn on the roster of members.
There is not, according to staff there.
Great. Well, if so, we definitely want to diversify our... Never mind. All right. Goodbye.
Before you leave, you're stopped real quick by Matilda Madsen. Excuse me, Artemis. Hi. Real quick.
Yes, Miss Madsen.
Did receive a package for you from the proprietors of Deepwater Isle Amusements. It's under new management, so the park is opening late this year, but they have enjoyed some of the wine here and offered you and guests of your choice tickets to come visit the park someday.
Oh.
In the near future.
Wonderful. It's very kind of them. They're not here now, are they?
No. They left.
All right. Well, when they do come back, please give them my regards, and I look forward to accepting.
I will do so.
What? Where is that? If I may ask.
It's the island in the harbor. There's like all sorts of amusements there, and Deepwater Isle Amusements is like a beachside park. They have rides and animals and sideshows and whatnot.
Oh, sounds like a wonderful time. All right. Well, thank you. That sounds good. If we have a spare ticket, I'll bring you along.
Thank you, Mr.
She's
Rachel.
such an asshole. Fantastic. Well, you're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. Let me know if I can ever be of any help. Happy to. Doodles.
All right.
And lastly, I'm just gonna swing by my old friend Andre and all the little kiddos
Okay.
just to check in how they're doing. Assure some of the kids from a long time ago, the monsters are gone.
Okay.
Things are a little safer now.
Yeah.
And basically, just kind of get a head count for myself of how many kids are running around, what that might cost.
Seems to be slightly more kids than last time. What that might cost depends on what you're trying to do.
I'm not buying orphans. I am looking.
Child labor. All right, child labor.
I am
Gotta put those corks in
looking.
those bottles somehow.
I am looking. Artemis's original
Stop it.
plan was that if there are houses next to his for purchase, he might expand, buy the lot, and have a place where some kiddos could live. But like a private orphanage type deal.
Yeah. Looking around at just these kids, just like, oh, this wouldn't be that bad it wouldn't be that much like monthly to feed and clothe, this handful of kids.
Try having a cook.
But you don't know, hey, is this the only handful of orphans in the city? And also the property cost is a whole other matter. You could potentially buy out somebody that lives in one or both of the townhomes next to you,
But Penny would never speak to me again.
What?
Well, if I bought someone out of their home,
Oh,
that's kind of the shit you went through.
I think there's a difference between propositioning someone fairly and just going up and being like, hey, give us that money or you're kicked out. I think there's a difference between those two things.
Sure. All right, that's all good to know. The last thing is Artemis's dream spooked him. Oh, I'm gonna throw some money at Andre.
Okay.
What did I throw at him last time? Hell, let's throw 300 at him.
This is so generous. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Well, I have to look after. If there's a way to, in a few weeks, maybe, I don't know, I might organize a car or a camping trip, maybe a field trip, something, just to get them out of the city. There's
Well,
some
wire
rumors of just some things stirring. And maybe it's best that people aren't around in the city for a month or two. I'll keep you up to date.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'm being very overdramatic.
With that troubling note, you leave.
Have a good day. Toodles.
Anything else from Artemis, or is that it?
the rest of his time, he is going to go and he's going to start sitting across from his dad's chair in his study, and eventually he will go sit in it and light a fire and drink and just think about his dream and think about things. Actually, probably he's going to find one of these days, have to track down Bowman. Send word, probably send Danny on a scavenger hunt through every single street. But eventually have Bowman join him.
Yeah. Yeah, Bowman comes in one day, sits down with you.
And I'm gonna sit in my father's chair and ask him to sit across in my old chair. Hi. Would you like something to drink?
I think I'd like to hear why you called me first, and then definitely want something to drink.
Oh, sure. Well, 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll get up and I'll fetch it. I'll start fixing him something disgustingly strong. So Evenwood's tower, that was long, and even though we had the luxurious rest of that fantastic bed,
It was nice.
pretty strenuous.
Yeah.
And well, I certainly don't need to remember you. I almost stabbed the man in the back. I had a whole plan, actually. I was gonna get him to. Oh, here's the drink. I was gonna get him to tell everything. Walk away. Misty step and stab him through his heart from behind.
And
But
probably would have deserved it.
maybe. But I don't, I've been thinking a lot lately, and I don't think I should be making those decisions. So I just wanted to ask you, even though I was particularly rude there for a moment to you, I just want you to make sure that I don't cross that line with anyone. Pretty much ever. You're the only one who's ever knocked me out. Do it again.
If this is what you wish, I will gladly restrain you.
Right. Thanks. Yeah, don't like kill me, because I'm the only one who can bring people back. You should look into that, by the way, if you can.
I got a lot going on right now.
Right. Me too. Me too. You're right.
I bought a boat.
You bought a boat?
I bought a boat.
How big?
It's a big boat. I think it's bigger than your boat.
I shake his hand. I would be proud to put my tiny little dinky next to your enormous boat.
Oh, well, good, because I parked it right next to yours.
Incredible.
Absolutely no other way. Does that mean Artemis's dock has no barnacles?
That it does.
Fantastic. Good. Well, you're welcome on it if you ever need 2 boats.
Thanks. I'm a one boat man, if you know what I mean. I don't know why I said that. That was pretty
No,
self-explanatory.
I do know what you mean. Somehow. I do know what you mean. All right. Well, cheers, Mr. Bowman.
Cheers, Mr. Brightshield.
Great.
Clink.
Aw,
All right.
that's fun.
Meanwhile, our friend is dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Penny, we still have to figure out what you're doing. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 main things Penny wants to do. Number 1, check on her house every day because it's been a while since she's been there.
Still as it has been, though you see that the houses around it have been either demolished and new buildings put in their place, or buildings have been connected to other buildings.
Okay. But there's nothing encroaching on my property.
Property is still your property.
Okay. Second thing Penny wants to do is look into, now that she has money, getting her dad out of the city, living somewhere else.
Okay. Do you have any idea how far from the city you want to relocate your father?
It really doesn't matter. I don't know.
Ranchfield Manor, Cormyr.
Well, it's hard because my brothers are in the city now, right?
Yeah. On the military base.
Is the military base like north, east, west, south?
It is on the east side of the city.
What side of the city am I on?
Artemis's house is in sort of the central part of the city,
Okay.
a little north of central.
I mean, far away. I guess it really doesn't matter. I don't know anything about the geography, but
I guess what I'm asking is, do you want him relatively close, or do you want him like days travel away? Like multiple days travel away?
I guess I can talk to my brothers and see what they think.
Okay.
If they know maybe potentially a good place. Where were they before Waterdeep? Do we know? They were outside of the city though?
They were outside of the city. They were stationed. They've been stationed a few different places. You don't remember where they were last.
Okay. But yeah, Penny just wants to look into finding a new place for him.
Okay. Yeah, you go meet with your brothers. They mentioned that, well, first of all, you meet with your brothers. They're like, why do you want to get dad out of the city?
That's what they asked me.
Yeah.
It's just been a lot, you know? I mean, I'm going through a lot. City's going through a lot. There's a lot of crime in the city. Are you reading the newspaper?
no,
Jesus.
What the hell have you been up to?
I'm writing for the paper. I
Yeah,
literally
but-
am writing for the paper.
Okay, but dad now doesn't live at home, and now you're trying to get him out of the city entirely.
Dad doesn't live at home because Waterdeep, or not Waterdeep, Watchful Order bought up the neighborhood, and we can't live there anymore because it looks like a freaking ghost town and there's all these weird people
After
walking
we
around.
spent all that money to save the house.
I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this argument. I am working on it, okay? I'm literally working on it. Do you not think that I would want to live in the house? I would love to live in this house. But when I tell you that it's not safe, you need to trust me. If you want dad to live in that house and potentially get, I don't know, whatever, fine. But I'm telling you that it's not safe and you should trust me. I only have dad's best interests in mind. Him being closer to me, the closer he is to me is the more in danger he's in.
Peter Jr. finally says, we've got some friends up in Neverwinter. Send him there.
How far away is that from here?
Day and a half by train, 2 days,
Okay.
depending on how many stops you make. Much slower in any other means of travel.
Okay.
Great. Well, with that, you start looking for a house in Neverwinter, which is going to involve a couple days trip with your. Are you going by yourself to try to secure a house, or are you going with your dad?
Apartment, not a house.
Okay.
I'm not buying a house for
Apartment.
my dad. This is a temporary relocation.
Okay.
Do I tell my dad I'm moving him?
Eventually.
Does he have to go with me?
Not necessarily.
I'll talk to my dad and ask if he wants to go.
What? You want to move me to Neverwinter?
Yeah. Have you seen the reviews for this place? This place is in
I
Neverwinter.
thought the whole reason I came here was to be safe, and now you're telling me I have to move to Neverwinter to be safe? What's next? Are you
Yes.
gonna tell me that I have to move up all the way up to the Icewind Dales? Edge of the world?
So, okay, here's the thing now. Bought the house is not safe. So I moved you here. Turns out things are also not really safe in Waterdeep. In fact, they're actually like pretty rough right now. And I'm thinking, as I'm thinking about why these places aren't safe, I'm thinking the common denominator of this is me. I think the closer you are to me is the less safe you are. And that was my bad, taking you in when I thought that I could control the situation, but it turns out I can't. So here's my plan, long term. We get you an apartment in Neverwinter. Peter Jr. and Paul will know where you are, and you can, talk to them, and whatever you need, you can talk to them, and I'll give you money to set down for the apartment. I'll give you everything that you need to be able to be settled for like a year or two or something like that. And then I will contact you when the house is safe. I promise you, you will get back to that house, but I cannot have you go back there right now.
Make a persuasion check for me.
6.
I'll give you advantage on the check because that was well argued.
16.
That's a bit better.
When your DM has to give you advantage because your rolls suck.
Ah.
Just don't know what this world is coming to. This last year has been fine.
I mean, this is nice. You'll be able to talk to your neighbors. You can start a little life, pick up a hobby. I don't know what retired people your age do.
Let's go find a place for me in Neverwinter.
But I cannot stress this enough, Dad. Once you go to Neverwinter and we find you a place and I, settled everything, you cannot contact me for like a while. Like, just don't. Just let me figure stuff out here. And then once I know things are safe, we can get back to the house. But I really don't want you coming. I don't want you visiting the house. I don't want you walking into Waterdeep. If you need to reach me for whatever reason, contact Peter and Paul.
How will I know that you're okay?
I'm Penny Presswell. I'm a Presswell. I'll be fine. Except Mom. But Mom wasn't a Presswell. So it's, she was married into Presswell. So yeah. And yikes. Can I gift of gab that?
Gift of gab.
Sure. Yeah.
Gift of gab that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you gift of gab. Would you like to try that again?
I'm just gonna say, if you really have to know, you can ask Peter and Paul, but seriously, last resort.
Fine. And with that, you and your father board a train to Neverwinter. Make a few days excursion to Neverwinter. How much money are you willing to spend on getting him set up with a place? How long are you trying to pay for a place?
I
give him
would like
any
to
spending
pay.
money?
I'd like to set everything down so that he'd be fully covered for a year.
Okay,
I can pay up to 5,000 talents.
right. How good of a place are you looking to get him?
Not as good as Artie's place. Probably like at par with what our house was, maybe a little nicer,
Okay.
like our original house.
We'll say with just prepaying whole year's rent plus giving your dad enough money to survive plus a down payment and security deposit on the apartment. Let's just say let's say 2,000 talents.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Before you leave, your father says, Penny, I know things have been strange between us for weeks. But I love you, and I just want my little girl to be safe.
Love you too.
With
Thanks.
that, you head back to work.
Okay. Last thing I'll do, write a letter to my brothers, let them know where dad is, give his address, tell them that I gave money. I'll let them know if they need any other money, they can contact me.
Okay.
By letter.
Okay.
And to not come see me.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, with that, we better check in on Nyx again. Nyx,
Is she alive?
you have been in this.
Somehow I
hope so.
forgot.
You have been in this room. You've been in this room for about an hour
Uh-huh.
at this point.
Okay.
No word of anything. Your bladder has never felt more full.
Oh, I'm for sure just gonna relieve myself in the corner
Sure.
just to prove a point,
Sure.
if anything.
Totally fair.
I'll have been listening at the door to see if I could like do people come up and down this hallway? Was there a schedule? Is this a patrolled area, or is it just like a holding place?
Okay, I need you to make a perception check for me.
13.
Hard to tell. It's kind of a thick door. You hear things out there occasionally, but not enough to determine any specifics.
Okay. Is this a door that I can unlock from the inside?
Not easily,
But it's possible.
theoretically.
And it's either the door or the mouse hole. Seem to be my two ways out.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want to group project this?
How?
Just talk out loud.
Well, I have a plan. So I
Okay,
will
okay.
attempt to pick the lock.
Okay. Make a thieves' tools check.
Oh, come on. 12.
With double proficiency.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not going to be good enough
Okay.
to unlock the door.
Can I wait a while and try again?
No, I will say that you bent one of your lock picks, and you need to get back to your sort of back home to fix your lock picks.
All right. Well, now I have no other ideas. Actually, that's not true. I'm going to cast Minor Illusion. I'm going to back myself up against the wall next to the door, cast Minor Illusion, a scream, and see if somebody comes to check on me.
Okay. Describe the scream to me slightly more. What kind of scream?
Like a blood-curdling, like a fancy woman's just seen a mouse
Don't be shy.
kind
Do
of
it.
scream. No, I don't want
Do it.
You don't have to do it. I just wanted-
like a high class woman has seen a mouse and is like,
Seen a
Okay.
mouse. Seen a murder. Get them here.
Okay.
they sound pretty similar in the movies. So
Okay. What I need from you then is going to be, we'll say, you cast the spell and the scream goes off regardless, but for it to be really convincing, I need you to make an Arcana check for me. And we'll use that as that number as a baseline.
18.
18, that's pretty good. Okay.
I
And you're
did
kind of like hiding against the wall behind the door.
I did realize in my time to think that I did have Featherfall and I could have just jumped and cast Featherfall and been fine. But here we are. All right, so do people respond?
So a moment passes, the door swings open as a security guard comes bursting into the room. He looks around at the empty room.
And they
What are you
do
doing?
like come in,
Yes.
like there is a gap between the person and the door.
There is.
I am running out of the door.
Make a stealth check.
21.
21. You sneak behind him. Are you closing the door
No.
on him? Okay. You sneak behind him. You're out into the hallway. It's like you hear him say, "What the? The boss's prisoner! The boss's prisoner is missing!"
I am booking it. Like
Okay. You make your way down these hallways. You don't know really where you are. These are kind of like dark hallways somewhere deep in the bank. You like run up a flight of stairs and you get to a landing which has one of those like narrow basement windows and then the stairs keep going up. What would you like to do?
how high up is the window?
I'd say it's like near the top of the wall.
Okay, I dump the rest of the ball bearings that I have on this landing and then I book it up the rest of the stairs.
Okay, you book it up the next flight of stairs. You make it to what you assume is ground level, but you're still somewhere in like back halls of the bank. And there are windows there.
I am going to pose myself, try to look like I belong. Can't do these windows open?
Yeah.
I will open a window if I don't see anyone around.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
Non-natural 20.
You don't see anyone.
Okay. I'm gonna open the window
Mhm.
and crawl out.
Okay.
And just sit.
Make another stealth check for me.
21.
You see like sitting there for a while. You see like through the window security guards run past, talk to each other, move back and forth.
I also closed the window behind
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I assume so.
I'm gonna like crouch however much I need to not be in sight of the windows and walk away.
Okay. Yeah, you're like out back by like
Yeah.
a dumpster or whatever. And you very carefully, as best as you can, make your way around the building, back out to the street level. Just for the hell of it, make me one more perception check.
23.
23. So you look around, you join the crowd, you're walking away from the bank. Your adrenaline is dropping a little bit, your heart rate is dropping. You're like, okay, I'm in the clear. You look around behind you, and at the front of the bank, 7-foot-tall red dragonborn man talking to a woman who looks very much like Octavia.
Cool.
And with that, we'll end tonight's episode.
Jesus
Dun
Christ.
dun dun.
Thank you all for playing. Sorry it went so long. It went off in a slightly different direction I thought it was going to go for a minute there, but that's okay.
We gotcha.
Politics, baby.
And we will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.